Hello and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk today about minimalism in work because I have recently simplified and minimalized my work life, and I have a few top tips that I thought I'd share with you. And I understand that a lot of these aren't going to be easily extrapolated to other people's lives. I'm going to try and make them as broad as possible, but I hope that it'll give you something to think about anyway. And here we go. My first tip is to prioritize time over income. So money is something that, you know, it's nice to have money, but you will earn money and you will spend money, you will earn more money, you will spend some more money. It's something that comes and goes. Time is something that you lose. You cannot get that time back. So I'm sure for lots of us, certainly me, there are things that you want to do. Things like spend time with family, spend time with your friends, just relax, work on projects, work on anything, you know, self-improvement-y. And these are all very, very important parts of life that we undervalue because we see it as very important that we need to work hard. And that's completely, it is a valid way of thinking, but not at the expense of our happiness. So for me, I was working very, very full days. I'm working in the evenings as well. I'm self-employed, so I can decide my own hours and my own timetable. So I don't really know why I decided to work all of the time, but I did. And I recently, I'm talking in the last 2 weeks, decided to stop teaching in the evening. So I was just teaching in the day. And what I found was that my actual time spent teaching during the day, I was just so much happier because I knew that I could go home and I could do the things that I wanted to do or work on the things that I wanted to work on. And it made me a lot more effective at my job. So I understand that that's not possible for everyone, and we have dependents and we have debts and we have responsibilities, but try and just find some space, find yourself a bit more space, whether it's going part-time if you're in a full-time position, whether it's cutting back on your hours if you're self-employed. Maybe if you're self-employed, it might be charging a little bit more so that you can work fewer hours. Any way that you can find yourself a bit of space. Leaving work at work, so try not to take home things with you. Maybe having a cut-off time in your day, so you could say past, 5:30, I'm not working, I'm not replying to emails, I'm not going to think about work, I'm going to recharge so that the next day at work I'm going to be more effective. It is for the greater good, and it's just good to have balance. The second tip I have is to consider which tools you need to work effectively. So this is sort of a two-pronged attack. So the first one is to look at the tools that you already use and you already own. Is there anything that you don't use? Is there anything that is just sort of cluttering your workspace? Get rid of them. You don't need them. If you don't use them and they're just taking up space, then get rid. You don't need them. The second thing is to consider whether there may be tools that are more effective for the job. I never used to understand why people would spend money on things that they didn't like. So for example, buying an expensive vacuum cleaner or getting a really good dishwasher, because why would you invest your money into something that you don't like? The concept was strange to me. Now though, it just makes so much sense, because you want to make there are things you have to do and you want to make your life as easy as possible. The bits that you don't enjoy, if you can make them a little bit easier and take a little bit less time, then that's going to be worth it. If you can invest in tools that are going to make your work more effective, then that's going to be worthwhile if you're in the position to. My third tip is to consider what is the bare minimum that you need to do. And I am not suggesting that you actually do the bare minimum or that you just completely withdraw from work altogether. You do have to obviously put some effort in. That is quite an important part of work. But you need to just establish where the line is. Think, to do your job effectively, how much do you need to do? And then anything on top, you then know is on top. You then know that you are putting your extra energy into that. It's important just to know where the line is, which is going to lead me into my fourth point. Number 4, monitor your need to go above and beyond. So I'm someone who gets my self-approval by working really hard and getting positive feedback. That's who I am. I wish that wasn't how I am, because I would love for all of my self-confidence and all of this stuff to come from within. That's the dream. but I do rely on external sources. So I find myself working too hard, unnecessarily hard, and always on things that don't matter. So I'm a big fan of making sure things look really nice. Like, I love a really, really well-designed document, and I love color coding, and I love organized binders. I love all of this stuff. And it's so unnecessary a lot of the time. And there are times when it can be beneficial. It can be a good thing. You put in the extra work and the rewards are fantastic. You can see how much you've helped that person, or you can see how much more effectively that thing ran. And that's great if when you put the work in, you can see the direct effect. So as with my previous point, if you know where the line is, then you know that every single time you start to creep above it, you can think, okay, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I putting this extra work in? Is there actually going to be a tangible result to me putting in this extra work? Or am I doing it because I know that I will feel good for working hard? And I know the idea of getting positive reinforcement for things is quite nice, you know, it's a chemical thing. It is good to feel good when you've worked hard. But there are other ways that you can spend that time that will make you feel equally good. Spending time with family, friends, personal projects, self-improvement, the things I've talked about before. Don't invest too much of yourself in your reception of self-approval. Don't get it from one source. Don't get it just from work, is basically what I'm trying to say. Stuttered so many times in that, but I'm using it. Point number 5 is it's okay to say no. So as I've mentioned, I was working incredibly long days. And this was largely because I just can't say no to helping people. And I suppose at its heart, it's a good quality, but I don't need that much. I don't own that many things. I don't desire much more than I have. So when I was working these ridiculous hours, I was really starting to think about why the hell am I doing this? Why am I so tired? And why am I really putting myself out for this when the reward that I get isn't that great? If people ask me to work with their children or to help them, I always want to say yes. So it's okay to say no. The people who ask you to do these things, they will understand. If they don't understand, then they're dicks, so they can shut up. My last point, which I think is number 6, yeah. My last point is being busy isn't necessarily a good thing. So we have this glorification of busy. We think that if you are busy, you are most likely earning money, you're doing well, you're in demand. Aren't you great being all busy all the time? But it is so fine to not be busy, and it is so undervalued just having time. I can't stress how undervalued time is. It's okay to want to have a rest when you're getting from work. It's okay to watch a film, to put your feet up, just to hang out with some friends or with your partner or your family. It is completely fine to not constantly be on the go. And it's preferable in a lot of ways because you get to recharge. Your body needs it. You need to just sit down and have a rest. I'm not talking about holidays or a day off every now and again. I mean, as part of your routine. So one of the good things about minimalism, and there are so many, but is that it breaks this cycle. It's this cycle that I want to stress, that you want to buy things, so you need to earn money, which means that you need to work hard. All you need to do is break one of those things, and the minimalism, it takes away this need to buy things, this need to own things. If you get rid of that, then you don't need to earn money or as much money, and then you don't need to work as hard, and then you just get all of this time. And I completely understand that we're all at different points, and that might not be anything that you might be thinking that's completely unrealistic, and I appreciate that. I would definitely have thought that a while ago as well, but it's definitely something to think about. Try and break the cycle and find the value in time. Time is so important, and it's so important to be spending it wisely and spending it with people who are going to value it. So they are my top tips for minimalism in work. I hope you found any of them useful, and if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do. I have 42 subscribers right now, and I am over the moon. I'm so happy, and I love every single one of you. Thank you so much. It makes me so happy. I'll see you in the next video for more minimalism videos, and I hope, by the way, you appreciate. I've been learning After Effects. That's what I've been doing in my spare time. I want to make my YouTube videos better, so I've been learning, I've been practicing, and I hope you like my Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other tips or any questions, anything you'd like to say, please leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you later. Bye bye.